Welcome to Look Around the Confederation. I'm your host, Moose, and as always, we'll never have our intro fixed. That's just how things are done here. Before we begin, the views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV, its GEC, nor any divisions, brigade, camps, or any other species. How's everybody doing in Dixieland tonight? Of course, my first night back on Look Around wouldn't start for me. So, of course, that had to happen. But we have our historian in chief, Mr. Todd Owens, in the house. Victor Smith is in the house. Mr. Sean is in the house. Mr. Ross is in the house. Miss Sullivan is in the house. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. We didn't have too much news while I was gone, so I guess tonight, because the next week or two, we got a lot of stuff going on with the chat with nationals coming up election year, so it should be a very fun year at reunion for us. Look around. Southwest Florida's in the chat. Make sure to go support them. Victor says, burn that Yankees baseball cap. Victor, I don't know if you can see, but it's not a Yankees hat. But I know what you mean. Fun fact, when my father was in the Navy, he was stationed in Chicago. So, even though they mess up everything, they will not support a baseball for me, which I just became a fan of like this week. They're ruining everything, man. I can't let them take another sport away from me. Let's talk about this real quick. I want an update on this. Past Commander-in-Chief Paul Gramlin's wife is awake and is sitting up in her hospital bed. She's been very sick. So let's all still continue to pray for her and to give her well wishes. Gigi means a lot to me. It's my mother, SCV, so I'm glad to hear that she's doing well. Victor, just because I like the Cubs does not mean I like cities. I like the Cubs. The Cubs have a fascinating and rich history. I like history. Does not mean I want to go to Chicago for an SCV reunion. No. I'm not a city guy. I'm a country boy. So no. They will burn the building we're at to the ground. But yeah, y'all please continue to pray for Gigi. For those asking, yes, I became a Cubs fan like this week. I was never a big baseball person. I've always been a big basketball person. And, I'm so full of Mississippi pride that I wish Mississippi would have sports teams. We have a minor league baseball team called the Shuckers. And I support them a lot. But I just really became a baseball fan. And I'm tired of retreating from organizations. I'm to fight for them. Sports should not be involved in politics whatsoever. It should be a getaway from all the stuff we are fighting for anyway. I said that wrong. It should be a break from all the worries of the world. That's what sports is made to do. It's made to entertain. The Cubs supported Sherman by giving him hot dogs for his march. No. Like everything, they are a bit liberal, which I hate, but everything is liberal days. Hence why we must fight for our stuff. How is everybody doing? Got a good number of folks on, but we have a lot of good guests coming up on Look Around and on Monday's show. Go Braves. Victor. The Braves are just as liberal as anybody else, man. Come on now. Let's see here. Something to talk about quick. I'm going to take my time getting into the news this evening. At least they're Southern. If they act Yankee, are they really Southern? Just it's a Southern state does not mean it is not a Yankee. We've learned that the hard way, haven't we? Especially the hard way in Mississippi with our flag. That does not mean anything. It's hot. I'm dying. Yeah, no, I work on a farm when I'm home with my father, so I have been getting my fair share of heat this week since being back from my vacation. I was not used to it. I was gone on a trip to Chicago, so I was very cold all the time. Vinny, we have a rule about veganism now. Come on, buddy. Let's see here. I might be able to, Jack, and we'll talk about your event in a minute. I'm taking my time. While I was gone, I don't think Look Around was done, but from what I saw, we don't have too much news to cover, so I'm going to highly encourage everybody to please send in news. But yeah, no, I will see if I can make it. Uh, After my vacation, money is extremely so. Uh, I'm broke as a stick. I know that much. I spent so much money on this trip, man, and I don't make much money. So I don't, I'm broke, man. But I'll see if I can make it, Jack. And we'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, no, Jack. We'll talk about it in a minute. Good evening, Jerry. I was going to talk about something, and I kind of went brain dead there for a minute. Let's see here. But we only got like a handful of news stories. So since the next weeks are going to be, we're going to have a lot of SCV chat content coming with national interviews, updates, news. We'll be covering the election, I think, to the best of our ability. We can't broadcast the actual election, but we will talk about, of course, the results. And we'll have a couple people on who's running in the next couple weeks for national. Then, yeah, that week of national, we will be a crap ton of news. So I'm ready to get into business because national reunion time, it's always busy for us here at SCV Chat, and we like it, like being busy. It's always cool to have one of these episodes like I'm doing now where we can sit back and just talk to y'all and shoot the breeze. But we like staying busy here, and we like doing chat. We like reporting the news. We like doing all that. So we are looking forward to national reunion because that's usually our busy, along with the whole month of April. And national reunions, probably SCV Chat's busiest times. I cannot wait for national. I love national. I love seeing my brothers, my compatriots, and my sisters for the cause, man. And always good to see y'all. Hello, Robert. How are you? Yes, I'm alive and well. Everybody kept texting me while on vacation, like, "Hey, are you okay? Did you leave the chat?" No, no, no. I took a rare vacation from the chat. I messed with Connor about that. I'm probably the face that y'all have to see the most, got y'all. So for 2 weeks, y'all didn't see me, and a lot of people text me. Yes, no, we are electing a new CIC, Jack. As right now, um, the only person that has declared they're running, of course, we can challenge from the floor in our organization, is Lieutenant Commander in Chief Jason Boshears. He is running for CIC. Mr. Donnie Kennedy, our Chief of Heritage Operations, is running for Lieutenant Commander in Chief. Those are two, and of course, everybody running in your Army. I would have to get a list for the whole Army. I hate to say it. I'm in the Army of Tennessee, so I know who's running for that. I know, I'm pretty sure, let me rephrase that, that Carl Jones is running for reelection for AOT councilman. And I think Jimmy Hill for our commander again. Uh, yes, Jack, Mr. Kennedy running commander in chief is almost a match made in heaven because lieutenant commander in chief is supposed to do recruitment and stuff like that. So that's a position made for him right now. I know he'll do great things for our recruiting, and we'll probably get some great numbers. Strange woman. Didn't have it, Connor. Yeah. Well, Robert, I like to, unless I'm 100% sure, I do not want to accidentally speak for the person. While I'm pretty sure Jimmy Hill's running for reelection, I like to make sure people know, if I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh, yeah, well, they're doing this. Our news does that a lot in this nation about putting rumors as fact. And I do not think I've seen Jimmy Hill announce, but I'm pretty sure he's rerunning. I don't know. Okay, yes, Jimmy is running for AOT councilman. But as I said, I don't like to speak for people. I like them to speak for themselves, and that's what I was doing. I am uncertain on the other armies, but it is an election year on the national level, so make sure you get all the available information um, for your elections. It's always good to know who is running. Always good to know what they stand for in this organization. Don't just vote for someone because you like them. Vote for somebody because you think they'll do a great job in the position. Um, and so, yeah, I believe I talked to GCB about it, and I believe it's okay to announce that we will be trying to have this upcoming week to talk about their elections. So hopefully all goes well, and we can do that. Robert, you talked to Jimmy Hill at today. Yes, Commander Hill has done a great job with the museum and has stepped it leaps and bounds. The museum is looking great. I'm very proud of the museum, and I know it'll only grow further. What was I thinking? But under Jimmy Hill, I believe the museum is going to turn out great. I actually have an announcement from Jimmy Hill regarding the museum later in the show. GCB asked what we're doing. GCB, there wasn't a lot of news while I was gone, so I'm just having a laid back episode before we get into what I would say our second busiest time of the year for chat, which is national. I put it right up there with our busiest time of the year, I think, which is April. Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Robert, for working at the museum. That's a great thing to do for the cause, man. Having our own museum is, it's special because we finally get to tell our own story and fight for that. No, what are we doing next week? Let me go get my schedule. Here is a video while I go do that. Let's see here. Okay, I got a random video right here.
The genius of Robert E. Lee is why it took Grant so long to take Richmond. Grant said he intended to fight it out on this line if it takes all summer. He stayed on that line about 3 days. It is Lee's generalship in defensive warfare from the Rapidan to the James is near miraculous. It's as if he lived in Grant's mind, knew what he was going to do before he did it.
All right, next week, I have the schedule for SUV chat right here. Monday, we'll have Mr. Donnie Candy on talking about his campaign to run for Lieutenant Commander in Chief. And we'll have Mr. Charles Ray on next Look Around the Confederation. And we're working on getting I think one more guest to come on and talk. I won't say who he is, just in case he can't. He's very busy right now. But I have talked to him, and we are trying to clear out a way in his busy schedule to get him on. But that is what is up for next week on Look Around and SCV Chat. Are they coming on? David Pope said next week for Friday Night Live, they're going to be observing Nathan Bedford Forrest's birthday. Awesome. My camp does a big cookout. It's our biggest meeting of the year. It's this weekend. It's our General Nathan Bedford Forrest birthday celebration. We'll have a quick camp meeting and enjoy time with our compatriots with a cookout, cake, and other things. I think we have a special guest lined up. Uh, that's an ugly hat, Moose. I just became a fan when my dad. When I told Dad I'm going to become a Cubs fan because I'm not a baseball person. Off shock, and then he was like, "Well, I'm a Cubs fan. They're a good team in my book. I grew up. With. Hope you enjoy them, but you are going to get bullied because they are the lovable losers." And I was like, "What?" And ever since I have just put like a hat on, GCB has bullied me, bullied, I'd say, into me liking the Cubs. All right, yeah, thank you, Mr. Ricky. Mr. Ricky said Commander Kevin Stone is running for re-election for Army of Northern Virginia. So he's running for, of course, Army Commander. Thank you, Mr. Ricky. If anybody else has any things, Mr. Charles Ray is running for the Army of Trans-Mississippi Councilman, if I'm not mistaken. I said his name earlier, but yeah, we're going to try to have a couple people on for that are running for office this week, and I think part of next week. Depends. Everybody who is running, this is probably the busiest 2 weeks for them, as this is 2 weeks before their campaign, so or before the election. So everybody is extremely busy, and I figured that out. Let's see here. Forrest was a man who was genius for war. Yeah, no, General Forrest was a genius for war. Robert E. Lee even said he was the best general in war. Major League before he was boring. SEC. I am an SEC fan. Many of you know I go to the University of Mississippi. I'm a Rebels fan. I am. I would say now I'm more of a. I'm a true old man. I stand up where Ole Miss was before they completely turned their backs on us as a community. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna take my time doing the news since we didn't have too much in. I will pop things up kind of randomly and talk about it for a second and stuff like that, and we'll talk. Everybody's saying we're gonna have a debate on baseball now. I have not been a baseball fan for more than a week. I know nothing about the sport. I have been a fan all my life. Uh, will always be a basketball fan. It's my favorite sport, and my first love in life was basketball. I loved basketball. I loved playing it. I loved learning about it. I loved watching it. Oh, it makes me so sad that the NBA's turned to crap. Can't watch it, man. It's just awful. It's better, but ain't too far behind. My goal is to see a Mississippi-based basketball team come into play. But then again, yeah, no. I also said earlier I'm a Cubs and Shuckers fan out of Biloxi. I go down there and I'll watch a baseball game. Then, or before the baseball game, I'll run over to Beauvoir. It's a great day. Yeah, no, I'll agree with that, Grant. College sports are usually superior to the professional ones. I grew up in the South. Everybody loves college sports. Everybody would rather watch college sports usually. So I agree with you on that. Let me. Let's see here. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time. As Connor often tells on the show, my reading skills are not the best because I mispronounce everything. But I'll go into a bit of news and we'll go back and forth. But Lieutenant General Richard Taylor Camp will have these challenge coins for sale at the National Reunion. They are $10 a piece. I will definitely be getting one. I collect challenge coins. Let me take this off. And so I am going to be getting me one. And they look great in my opinion. So make sure you hit up one of them and get it. Play ball, bouncing ball. Robert. Yeah, no, big basketball guy. So, let's see here. Oh, I wanted to bring this up because I'm sure many of you have noticed this by now, but we've gotten a lot of trolls on the page these past couple days. So you might see one here tonight. They will be kicked out of here quicker than a fire rocket. Um, we had a that has done great. It was our July 4th post, our Secession Day post. It has gotten us more than, I would say, 90% positive. What was I thinking? Word I'm looking for? Feedback. It was yeah, I would say 90% positive. Majority on the post. These trolls are just commenting, trying to get a bad reaction out of us. Don't let them do it. Remember the rules of the page, especially if you're going to do it. Remember to have an intellectual conversation. Remember to provide evidence, just say stuff, documents, stuff like that. I'll have to bring it back up to GCB, so I'm not saying we will be doing this anytime soon. But I would like to do a series, mini series, not a full on new show, but on documents and stuff and dissecting the enemy's arguments. Uh, I would love to do something like that to give more information out there of what we can use in these arguments. Yeah, Jack. I love when camp stuff like this. I love when national does it. I love when divisions do this, armies do this. It's very important to have pride in our organization, pride in national, pride in your division, pride in your army, pride in your camp. So I'm very good to see a challenge coin from a camp. I've seen a couple. Most of them are usually army, division, or national. So I'm very happy to see another camp one out there. Love seeing it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm a big challenge coin collector too. So, Robert says troll hunting season is opened. Yes, it is apparently right now. Or that post, as I said, is gaining a lot of traction, mostly positive. Again, it shows that most of the people agree with us, and it's had a lot of shares. We've reached a lot of people. We've had a lot of new faces here on the show, the chat, or some new chat heads. So it was a very successful post. Bravos from GCB for GCB designing it. It looks amazing. But the side effect of one of our posts going what's the term, viral, not big viral but medium viral, is the fact that will attract negative people who are just going to cuss and try to get a rile. I implore and ask that you don't let them win. Be respectful, Southern gentlemen or Southern ladies, and usually I am just all right. Bye, because we don't want that negativity here on our page anyway. Usually, if someone's having a conversation with them until the person steps over the line or is causing a big ruckus, I usually let it be. But some of these people are just savages, man. Don't know how to act or nothing. Let's see here. Jump into some more news. All right, let me get this next one ready. The moose shirts, moose shirts are about to leave the store, people. Moosemania might be leaving the store, but it will run forever. We have 2 more days for you to be able to get a Moose Mania shirt. They are $22, of course, plus shipping. All proceeds go to the cat. So yes, these shirts will only be in our store or on sale for 2 more days, today and tomorrow, people. So please go out you one, support the chat, and they won't be here this reunion, but the next reunion. Let's see you, chat heads. So please, if you can, go get you a Moose Mania shirt. Monument Across Dixie does a great job of going viral with their posts. Again, it usually shows that we have a lot of people on our side because they'll like, share, and stuff like that. The only problem is sooner or later a troll's going to get a hold of them. They're going to tell all their friends to go bombard the page, and they're like cussing and like being disrespectful, and some even use the Lord's name in vain, which just drives me nuts. And so that's the only problem with it. But Monument Cross Dixie do a great job of dealing with their trolls, in my opinion. Uh, they always either put them in their place or get them out of there before they can cause too much of a commotion. Miss Linda, it's all right. We're just kind of having a more relaxed night tonight. We didn't get too much news while I was gone, so we're just kind of taking it one step at a time, going through the news. Uh, Check something on my other monitor. Jason's like that ban button comes in handy, doesn't it? Yeah, especially when they're cussing, it automatically flags it to me, and so I'll just go, all right, bye. Your comment didn't even see the light of day. We, of course, have a strict rule on cussing on the page. That comes from me. If you ever want to know why, I don't particularly well with it, so I'm just all right, bye. Especially if they use the Lord's name in vain, I just be gone. Let me see here. Of course, my monitor's not going to work. Speaking of trolls, I just got another one pop up on my screen. Let's have fun with this. Let me see here. See if I can pull it up on my monitor. You're working through the Franklin. Why do I always say Franklin? The Freeman biography in the Friends of Dr. Freeman group. Awesome, David Poe. Tell me how it is because I've got so much stuff to read. It's going to take me multiple years um, to get through everything. But that's a good thing. I like learning about the organization and stuff like that, or not the organization, but the cause and the people who fought it. Jason says he runs 3 pages, so he gets that a lot. Yes, yes, yes. No, I run my own personal SC page. I'm the producer here on chat, so usually I'm the one looking at stuff. With GCB kind of coming in sometimes to help me out too if it's getting overwhelming, or in this case, I'm on vacation. So awesome. So Walker Freeman, his father was a commander of the UCV later in his life. Oh, that's awesome! I had no idea. Uh, yeah, well, yeah, you're never gonna be done. I wish you'd pull up the comments. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, that didn't work. It didn't work on my monitor. But yeah, no, I run multiple SCV pages. My personal own, this one, and a couple others. Yeah, no, it can get frustrating. I knew Dr. Freeman was a member of the R.E. Lee Camp 1 of the SCV, but I didn't know that about his father. Again, I love learning about stuff like that. So interesting, so interesting. Let me let's see, find one of these trolls real quick. One of them called us a banjo using organization. Gotta love the Southern stereotypes. Always good to see them. Yeah, see, like some of these people don't even want to have an intellectual conversation. They just want to be. I won't say that word. They just want to be jerks, and it irritates me. Uh, but yeah, no, these. See, one just told us to piss off. That's it. They don't want to have intellectual conversations. They want to just be jerks, and I just don't understand that. If you're going to post on this page, go through the trouble of doing something, posting something you don't agree with. Have an intellectual conversation. But none of them want that. They just post memes and stuff. And yeah, Robert, sometimes they don't even use their real name. They'll use a troll account. And as soon as I see one with a troll account, ban. I don't deal with it. One you also have to watch out for people that like craft a whole Facebook page. They're this dedicated to being jerks that they'll craft a whole Facebook page, like all this SEV stuff and Confederate stuff, post Confederate stuff, just so they can get into groups and stuff, which is disgusting. And then sooner or later they'll reveal themselves, or sooner or later they'll mess up. But usually they get in there to try to do something. Critical thinking is in a short supply of America. I agree with that. Hence why I want to do a mini series on the show. Again, I talked about this earlier. Um, that we just destroy their arguments to us, completely destroy them. There's a video. There's a historian on YouTube does it, but opposite. Like he attacks us and goes after our argument. So I want to like get his videos. How I want to start off this mini series is critiquing and going through his videos and all right, boom, 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 boom. All right, here's what he said it was wrong. Here's what he said was wrong. Blah blah blah. Here are some resources. That's the important thing. If you're going to talk to these trolls, do not stoop to their level. Come in with facts. You might not convince them, but if you do that, I'll leave the conversation up because it'll be interesting. Robert says, "When are you going to start this miniseries?" I do not know. I've talked to GCB about it a couple times. I've wanted to do it, but me and him are pretty busy. We still have we both run, so we look over all the shows usually. We got 3 shows right now, which ACG Chat, Christian Lee does a phenomenal job. Usually doesn't like we usually don't have to tell him anything or anything like that. He does a great job. Doesn't really need our help, and so, but we still like like to watch his episodes and support him. So that's usually an hour and a half, and the shows are usually an hour. It kind of quickly becomes overwhelming to get stuff ready and to do it and to produce and all that stuff. So, uh, let's see here. So, yeah, no, I want to do it. I will hope to do it soon. I will say, I think that it'll be a great way to fight back because again, there's so many videos out there. The South was wrong, and they critique our arguments. And some people I've seen online, they do it to themselves when they're on these arguments. They'll say certain things, and I'm like, no, why did you say that? And then the other person will attack them, and they got the upper edge in this debate, and they're making them look crazy. And so it ends up backfiring. So a couple of the comments I want to talk about. Intellectual trolls are like Bigfoot. They're rare. They're rare, but sometimes you can have. I've had a couple discussions like that. Watching television prevents critical thinking skills. I don't think it does. I watch television. I don't sleep well, so if you know me on stories, I stay up watching stories all night, which stories are television and movies. That's what my dad's grandmother, my great grandmother, called them when she's taking care of him. So I've picked up on that slang. So I don't think it dates. I don't think it destroys it, but I do think you can inherit it if you're not I mean, hurt it if you're not careful. It's just all it's all about keeping your mind sharp, reading, doing thinking skill, like just keeping your brain active. I think someone even said thinking is like a muscle, brain is like a muscle. Just work it out. Uh, Robert, it would have after national reunion because again, national reunion is kind of the second busiest time of the year for the chat. So we're going to be busy these next 2 weeks. Very busy during national. Like if you see me at national and I'm like doing all this, I'm moving quick, I'm going up and down halls. I'm either doing something for the CIC because I'm his aide de camp or one of his aide de camps, or I'm doing something for SCV chat, or I'm doing something for my camp. Like I wear a lot of hats at national, and that's fine. It's just you'll see me cut through. I'm usually busy the whole week. I'm not. And the funny thing is, I'm nowhere near busy as our officers and other people. So I am scared to if I ever get to those positions, how much more crazy busy I can be. David, I'm happy to hear you got StreamYard working for you Friday for on Friday night live. We love it here. It's always done a great job for us here. So I'm happy to see someone else using it. Someone put a source on monuments. I will look at that. I hate that you can't go to national, David. I wish you could, man. It's always good to catch up on people. Linda says perhaps fewer shows will allow significant time for you to do happy with. Need to figure out how better sleep patterns. Sleep patterns, 100% yes. I need to find a better way to sleep. I don't sleep well. I usually go to bed around 2 or 3 every night, and try to wake up as early as I can. So usually, I feel drained all day, and sometimes I stay up past that if I can't sleep well. Uh, Apparently passed down in my family. Apparently, my dad has this problem. My grandfather had that problem. So it is what it is. On the fewer show thing, think it's just the fact that SCV chat's growing, and we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to have more shows. We're going to continue to grow our fan base. Me and GCB talked about it all the time. How we want to show every day of the week, probably except for Sunday. Day of rest. But we want SCV chat to be very big in our organization and very big for everybody else. An intellectual show, program you can sit back and relax to. Shows like this where it's just someone shooting the bull for 40 minutes. I think what it is probably need to start expanding the crew, but I haven't talked to GCB about that. That's just my personal opinion. Uh, see here. Jack says Sailor in Alabama. Yeah, Jack has a very important point because I always talk about we need more people to get involved in our legislators, especially state ones. There was a local state legislator in Alabama and a chaplain of his local SEV camp, and the media figured it out and completely went on a quest to ruin his political career and lied about it. I mean, completely just tried to ruin this guy. I don't know how he's doing now, but that's something we have to. This is something we have to fight people because the more they start doing that, because they do it to a lot of kids my age. Hence why you won't see a lot of people my age in the organization. They're too scared because their career could be killed in a second. We got to continue to fight that, and I've talked about it a couple times. I'm not going to talk about it tonight because it's just not enough time. But yeah, you'll be working the credential tables Thursday. Okay, remind me, Robert. I have horrible memory, especially when I have a lot of stuff on my mind. But you know, uh, okay. One second. But yeah, no. Please come out and talk to me, people. I love talking to the chat heads. I love talking to y'all, the supporters of the show. So please, if you can find me that I'm just not running around, love to talk. Jason says he's engaged with dead, brain dead trolls. Sometimes be able to change them. Sometimes it's not. But it's always good to have these conversations because these conversations are going to keep peering up probably till the day God all calls us back. Because even if we win this culture civil war, I like to call that we are in, um, there's always going to be somebody. And that's the sad part. You got to keep fighting. Let's see here. Yeah, Jack. It all started because he took a picture at I think the Nathan Bedford Forrest birthday celebration, and like the picture went viral, and they tried to get him kicked out of office and all this crap. Um, it's awful. It's stupid. Um, but yeah, no, you gotta run for stuff, people. We gotta get out there and change. We can't just sit back in the corner and not do anything because if it continues to get worse, the people that are in the organization fighting with the cause won't leave, but we won't get anybody else in. And sooner or later, I'll have gray hair and there'll be no one around me. Uh, you're running. Good, 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 good. Uh, please continue to do that work, man. We need people like that. Uh, thank you, Chris. Uh, let's see here. Let go into a bit of news. Uh, we've been talking for a while now. Yeah, Georgia's adjutant is running for office, which is again awesome. So, again, I'm seeing a lot of people start to be like, why the heck are we fighting and they're not going to do anything for us? Why don't we just run and do it? That's a great idea. It will be hard. Some elections will not go our way, but sooner or later, I think with that you can create a movement that will rise up and we'll be able to start getting offices. Uh, Shocked to know how many seats are uncontested on a county level and on a state level. Sometimes these things they're up for the grabs. Yes, it's awful to hear that a pastor ate fried fish and watched fireworks and took a picture by a Nathan Bedford Forest cake. Wow, the horror! Am I right? Uh, Jack says, "You wonder how he's doing." So do I. I hope that this didn't make him, because a lot of people, if they get caught, they'll be like, "Oh, well, I left the organization" and stuff like that, trying to get their political career on track, uh, or trying to get their personal career, trying to get their job back, or something like that. Um, it's a sad thing right now, cancel culture and jobs for people like us, but we can't let it discourage us. Again, if my generation, next generation, don't see y'all fighting, if they don't see us standing up and us risking something, they won't ever do it. It's what a lot of my generation's scared of right now. They don't see anybody fighting for our cause. Um, they don't see anybody, putting it all on the line. Let me phrase it. And so the more we do stuff like that, the more these stories get out, the more SCV Confederate people run, the more will, I think, influence the next generation, my generation, to come back. You need to run for office after you get out of school, Robert. I would love to. Hopefully, God gives me a long lifespan where I can teach and do stuff for the great state of Mississippi and get us back on track, I would, to be honest, I would love to one day. Um, I need to continue my private education in Confederate history and educating myself so I can stand the barrages. I'm pretty good right now, but pretty good ain't going to cut it on that stage. So I want to be at the Carl Jones level of intellect. I'll give Carl a shout out and be able to, I would say, run at that point. He refused to step down. I'm not sure if he was reelected or not. Okay, thank you, Christopher. Um, that's awesome that he didn't step down. Yes, he's still a representative. Christopher, if you could send me his name after the show, I can look into it myself. I would love to have a topic and discussion on how we should work in politics. And of course, the SEV can't get involved in politics, but we can. So yeah, he spoke at Fort Dixie in Alabama. That's awesome. Okay. So that's awesome. Again, I would love to have a topic on this and a couple other things. And of course, it will probably happen on a Thursday. These I charge of look around, so usually I can pick I pick our guests. I get the news together. You just sent me a picture, Jack. Thank you. Um. So yeah. I'm trying to think. I think there's anything else I want to talk about at the moment. Everything we've talked about needs to be discussed, and I will discuss them further. But again, these next couple of weeks are going to be focused on what's going to be happening at nationals, and then what happened after nationals, and after we kind of get out of that, um, we will. I would love to have these discussions. I love discussing how we can fight this culture civil war. Um, let's see here. Yes, Robert. Please, everybody, donate to the National Museum. We'll probably be having a Hearth and Home episode soon after we get out of the national season of SEV Chat. Carl probably could. It would be amazing for him to come on the show, Jack. I would love to have him. I'll reach out and invite to him. Yeah, it's hard for the SCV to get quote unquote involved in because we can't as an organization. I think me and Donnie have talked about Mr. Donnie Kennedy have talked about it. You kind of have to get involved as, like, for example, I Harrison am running for blah blah blah. I just so happen to be an SCV member. SCV, the organization, can't get involved. We can't publicly endorse anybody. We can't send in funds for a campaign and stuff like that. But we do need to get a way to find pro Confederate candidates to get the word out that people should support them without the enemy getting that knowledge. I would love to have a think tank about that. I would love to have something about that. I also agree with this comment. And again, I keep saying that I'm on. It's just these conversations are awesome. To affect change, SCV members should also write in education in editorials, or not editorials, but write in local newspapers, written in video blogs, encourage debates in local radio stations, volunteer, set up change.org petitions, and participate in community debates and get involved in community. One of my favorite things the Rankin Grays do, SCV camp in Mississippi, is they're super involved in their community. So when they hear Sons of Confederate Veterans, they think, "Oh, that's the Rankin Grays. They came out and helped us a little while ago." Really? Maybe they're not bad people, and that will change our public perspective. And also, when someone's like, Did you hear that candidate? He was in the SCV. Well, I know the SCV. They're not bad people. Why would that turn me away from voting for him? Why would that turn me away from supporting the SCV? Why would that turn me away from supporting him as a candidate? I agree. We can't just do one thing. A lot of people get that misconception that there's only one thing and it will all be saved. No, we have to do what our enemy did. Our enemy got involved in every aspect of life they could to invoke the change that we were the bad guys. They got into politics, they got into our education systems, they got into our universities, they got into the communities, they got media, their videos, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're doing what we. Again, of course, my computer goes out. Um, I hope. Can you all see me now and hear me? I believe. But we have to do what all they did, and so I would love to write educational articles. I would love to write articles. I would love to do this and do that. I plan on writing books. I already have planned on my first book to write. And I'm hoping to have that out sometime soon. Not anytime like this year soon, but in reason. And I would love to run for politics. I want to be in education. I want to do as many things as I can to show people, hey, why don't you actually think about the Confederate States of America? Why don't you think about the Confederate soldier more importantly? Why don't you think about reading these books? Why? Let's talk about this. Let's debate this. Let's get into public office. There's so many other things we can do, and I want to get personally involved as much as I can. I want to get involved in my community. So when people see Harrison Dawes, the guy some people call Moose, they're thinking of the SCV. They're thinking of the Confederate soldier. They're thinking, you know what? This guy's not the evil racist that these people say he is. He helps everyone. He cares for his community. Why are people saying these things about him? Why would they lie? And then people start thinking, if they're lying about that, what else are they lying about? And that takes them on a discovery. That takes them on finding out who the Confederate soldier really was. Why did he fight? Why did we succeed from the Union? Why did we form our own government? Why did we do this and that? And who Robert E. Lee is and who all these other great people are and who the average Confederate soldier was. That is the snowball effect that you will cause if you start doing stuff like that. Yeah, and Christopher says join the Confederate Legion. That's a great way we can fight right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the purpose of the Confederate Legion. You might want to talk to Mr. Donnie Kennedy about that. That's kind of the quote-unquote, I think, political arm of the SCV, if I'm not mistaken. It's just, I know the SCV, because of our tax exemption status as a 5013C organization, we can't. We physically can't. We have to stay with the causes that we have declared ourselves, and that's defending the Confederate soldiers' good name. Thank you, Miss Linda. And again, yeah, Robert, who am I? That's the question people ask me all the time, and I'll agree. I say the same thing. I am a son of a Confederate veteran. I'm not ashamed of this. I'm a Christian conservative, son of a Confederate veteran, multiple Confederate veterans. I'm blessed by that fact. But we need to start getting out there and doing stuff like that. Jack, the best person to talk to about the Confederate Legion would be one of the Kennedys. So if you message me after the show I can't do it right now because my phone is the only thing keeping the show live right now. I will get you in contact with him. And so then you can talk to him. He'll be able to answer all your questions. Let me see here. I'm trying. Okay. That's what I get for trying to do too many things at once. Yeah, well, Grant, we're going to talk about, again, I talked about earlier, a series, a mini series, not a full-on new show or anything like that. My plate's full. I'm on the Monday and Thursday show, and if they ask me to be on ACU Chat, I'll happy to do it. Yes, I did, Jason. We are no longer in danger of the SCV Chat bomb. You get to see a cameo from the bed I sat in from the majority of season 2. But I want to do a show on tactics on how a debate that would work for us and tactics that wouldn't. So I'm going to be diving deep into that type of stuff. And I really, really want to find documents. My favorite place to use is the Abbeville Institute. Love them to death. Big fans. I hope to one day write for them. As soon as I feel my own personal historical education is up to mark, not my universal education, I could care less about my universal education. If it wasn't for the fact I needed a degree to be an educator, I probably wouldn't be in college. I'd probably be trying to do stuff on the community and state level right now. But that's some things that I would like to do. Yeah, I have a problem with spreading myself too then, Miss Linda. But I try my best to be involved as much as I can, solely for the fact that I want us to win this culture civil war we're in. And I call it a cultural civil war because, as many of you know, this is a slap in the face to the people that call the war between the states a civil war. It's not a civil war. Civil war, by definition, is a nation of two separate sides fighting each other. We have left the nations. We talked about this Monday. Succession is a legal, constitutional right of the people of this country. So we succeeded. So we're two different nations. So war between states, the war of northern aggression, the many other names of the war, but I don't call it the Civil War. I call what we're in right now a culture civil war because, first off, we're not succeeded. We're all in the United States of America. And cultural is because we're not fighting. So I would either use cultural civil war or cold civil war. Those are the two terms I kind of go back and forth on because this is not a war we will fight with weapons. This is a war we will fight with minds and our education. And hence why I want to do the miniseries again. We all need – I love Lincoln's War, Robert. We all need to expand our minds as much as we can on how to fight this. We all need to find other ways to knock it back in the troll's face, and they'll sit there with that deer in headlights look like, how do I come back to this? And then they'll start cussing and throwing a little hissy fit like they normally do. But that's the reason why I want to make that miniseries, is because I truly believe that this war that we're in will be won with our minds and not our fists. So we need to expand our minds and take in other ideas from other people in this organization and our cause. So I'm very happy about that fact. But real quick, let me see if I can switch over to my computer to do the news, and we'll close it out for the night. So I'm not going to be talking anything else from the chat heads right now. I'm sorry, but I need to go over the news real quick. So I'll be right back. Actually, I'll do a quick commercial break, and I will be right back. So I will see y'all in a second.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Hey everybody, okay, we're back. We're going to get into news and we're going to call tonight. Before we get in, I want to ask that everybody please share this. I think a lot of people thought that this wasn't going to be a big episode, but we've had a lot of great discussions, and I want to get the word out. Remember, if we don't share, we're preaching to the choir. Everybody on here knows the truth. I mean, you wouldn't be in the SCB cause if you didn't know the truth. So share it, get us out there, get us some good old-fashioned trolls, and I'll deal with them. But real quick, we're going to get in the news and we'll call tonight. See here, first bit of news, and this again comes from Jack from earlier. That's not what I wanted. Let's see here. Oh, get it here. So there's a Confederate Memorial Day service being held in Turtle Skin Cemetery on July 9th to honor the Confederate patriots who rest in the cemetery. Ceremony will begin at 10. Seating will be provided, but there's limited seating and many seats have already been reserved. The ceremony will conclude with live cannon fire and musket fire and wreaths placed in honor of the Confederate soldiers which rest in the cemetery. Again, I love seeing Confederate memorials. I love seeing it. So please go support it if you can. If you couldn't poster stuff like that, I have posted it on the SCV Facebook page. Go there, and you can go like it, support it, and share it. Please do. We ask that you do. This will come out, and again, if you are in the area, if you have the time, if you have the money, the ability to go to an event, please do. Our enemies are so dedicated with going out and doing stuff, and a lot of times, a lot of people complain that they don't see a lot of us doing a lot of big events, and sometimes because people won't go to these events. So, if you can, please do. Jason says, thank you for carrying the show all by yourself today. Jason, thank you. First off, I try my best. I am extremely blessed to be doing this. I love doing the show. I love fighting for the cause. That is why I feel like that's my calling in life, to do this stuff like this. Everything I do in this life will be for the Lord and for the cause. And I will try to be the best man I can be. And so I'm happy to quote unquote, carry the show today. Look Around the Confederation is usually me and a guest, or just me. So I don't think it's carrying as more of me just trying my best to provide a good show for y'all. Next week, we do have a great guest. I'll talk about that later. But please make sure to tune in. All right, next bit of news. There was a Flag Day ceremony, and the Alamo City Guards camp was there. 1325 Lieutenant Commander Mr. Robert May on the left, and the chairman of the local Disabled American Veterans chapter who put on the event. That is awesome to see. Two veteran organizations working together. We need to work together with other veterans organizations. Again, my belief is, I come from a lot of people in my family have served in the military. My father was in the Navy. A lot of my family joined up in the Marines, and I know I had a great uncle who was in the Air Force. So I'm a big military guy because I was raised in that environment, and all American veterans should be remembered and honored, especially if they served honorably. So I'm very happy to see these two working together, and I hope to see more of that in the near future. So please remember to send that in. I want to thank everybody that's telling me that I've done a good job. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Cousin Vinny. Always good to have Cousin Vinny on the chat. Poor Cousin Vinny, I have not responded to your messages for like a week now. I've been on vacation. I kind of tried to get on. I could to check everything, but that wasn't. David Pope, I think that goes the same for you. I don't know if I've responded to anybody's messages yet. I've been trying to catch up on everything I missed. But the next bit of news, you'll see a familiar face here. Dr. Samuel Mitchum, frequent guest on SCV Chat, SCV Heritage Operations Historian, and the commander of the Thomas. Here we are with the mispronunciation. McGurr Camp 1714 won the 2022 John Cook Literary Prize for Southern fiction for his novel. I'll get it out eventually, folks. It might be a while, but we will get this out of my mouth. The Retribution Conspiracy, the rise of the Confederate Secret Service. I want to personally congratulate Dr. Mitchum. That is a lovely award you have there, Dr. Mitchum. And we need more authors with your great pen, sir. So, let's see who. Let's see here. Who has burned me already for for my mispronunciation? It's all good news. Does that mean I get to play a prank on you, Cousin Vinny? Again, buddy, you're my brother. We're in the organization. Everybody in this organization is my brother and my compatriot. I would hate to accidentally, in the face. I'm joking, of course, but please don't prank me. Dag nabbit, we will get done with this episode. We will get done with this episode. Golly, man. I might have to use the Moose Mania shirts to get me a new deadgum computer. Wow. Okay, next bit of news. The Lieutenant Francis Calvin Morgan Boger's Camp 2150 did a 4th of July celebration in Everglade City. Awesome, guys. I'm glad you're out there showing your Southern heritage and your patriotic pride in the country we live in. I also see a couple of officers there, if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome. Awesome. Nabbit, y'all are getting me now for my pronunciation. Again, whose idea was to make me the pronouncer of stuff on the news did a horrible misjudgment of my abilities. Everglades. Did I say it right now? I don't think I said it right. Everglades City in Florida. That is awesome. Thank you again. I'm pretty sure Mr. Sean sent that in. Always good to get stuff from Mr. Sean. I would say Mr. Sean and Mr. Ricky send the most stuff in. And so I can't thank y'all enough for that. Yes, thank you. Again, we'll get these words out eventually. I'm going to bring someone on the show just to do the news part for me. You'd think after 2 seasons of the show I'd have it down pat, but you would be wrong. All right. The Wisconsin County Grays Camp 1788 at Bear Creek, Alabama Friendship Festival. They had set up a lovely booth there. Great turnout. Look at all that lovely Confederate pride they had out there, and books and stickers and all types of things. Look at that. But again, it's always good to have us there in events and community events that have nothing to do with our Confederate pride or stuff like that, because again, it gets us out in the community. And as I said earlier, you get out in the community and you show and you rebuild, because we've been blasted for so long as the evil, racist, bad guys. You build the SCV's image as, well, first off, we're not racist, we're not the bad guys, we're good people. We love our community. And it starts a snowball effect. And again, that will do great things. So, Mr. Sean, I will talk to you about that, and we'll see. We'll see, man. I can't make any promises, but I'll definitely like to talk to you about that and talk about your availability on Thursdays. We can talk it out. So, without further ado, I think that is all the news tonight. Actually, it is not. I lied. Let's see if my computer will work so I can get the announcement from Army of Tennessee Commander Jimmy Hill on the museum. I talk about this every time we're on the show because it's good to get this information out there. We want a memoir of Moose and your life experiences. My life is interesting. Crazy stuff happens to me all the time. I really wish I could do a memoir just on the crazy. I can be a comedian with all the stuff that happens to me. Again, I can make a whole show about the fact that 3 times this show my computer has died. Don't know what's wrong with my computer. I'm pretty tech savvy and I can't figure out what it is. Miss Linda, thank you. I take a great pride in what I do for the cause and on the show. When me and Connor came up with this idea, it was discounted by many as this show, multiple shows wouldn't work. And now we've reached over 150,000 people in our single year alone, and this year is looking to be even bigger. And we have 3 shows. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of my work on here. I like to give myself a hard time on my pronunciation of things because it will hopefully make a couple people laugh, make this a more fun, relaxed episode. I try my best to, if I have time, to reread everything before the show. And see if I have the correct pronunciation, but usually it doesn't work out either way. Maybe start journaling. Miss Linda, fun fact, I used to journal a lot of my experiences in high school for a very long time, actually. And so if I could go find that, I could probably have a funny story time about that. But let me do the announcement from Jimmy Hill real quick. Here are the topics for the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs that they would like people to write for. Write a short topic and send it to Mr. Jimmy Hill. I can get you his information, or you can just send it up to the National Museum, of course.
But please look over these topics. They are phenomenal. I myself will be writing one on Robert E. Lee and Beauvoir, two very important things in my life. So I'm ecstatic that I'm about to have the free time to do that and write and research. Oh, I'm such a historian geek that it's not even funny. So I am extremely happy to finally be able to be doing that soon. So I'll probably send my Beauvoir in first and then go after Robert E. Lee. I think without further ado, well, Cousin Vinny, just go for it, brother, and do it. But without further ado, everybody, I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting the show. I want to remind you, if you have a camp or division project that you would like to talk about live on Look Around the Confederation, you can please email us at scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com. Please remember to send in your news. Send your pictures, short videos, and write-ups to scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com, and you will be featured on the upcoming episode of SCV Chat of Look Around the Confederation. Please remember to email scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com. Without further ado, guys, please share this episode. Please tune in Monday as we will have Mr. Donnie Kennedy on to talk about him running for Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief. And remember to tune in next Thursday as we will have Mr. Charles Leray on to talk about him running as councilman in the Army of Trans-Mississippi. And without further ado, I will see you guys Monday on SCV Chat. And all I'm going to say is, remember to stay Southern, my friends. Have a good night, everybody.